Erev Tov Rabotai, we are continuing with our Mishna Yomi Masechet Shevuot. We are up to Perek Vav Mishnah Gimel. Today's Mishnayot should be Le'ilui Nishmat Neria ben Svetlana Ranbai Eliyahu ben Burcha Israelov Chana bat Miriam Sason ben Raya and Yoshua ben Shifra Menuchatam began Eden Amen and Lehavdil ben Chaim lechaim v'derefua shelemav Daniel Shalom ben Rosa בתור שאר חולי ישראל החלמה מרב בנימין אור ציון חי ben דבורה. This Mishnah explains what types of admissions are considered admitting part of a claim. Often this depends on how the claim is worded. Litra zahav yesh li biyadecha. If someone says to a person, I have a litra of gold by you, a litra is a standard weight. The claim is for a measure of gold, not for a gold coin. And the person responds, you have only a litra of silver by me. Patur, he is not obligated to swear an oath that he does not have the gold, because silver is not gold, and admitting that he owes silver is not considered admitting part of a claim for gold. To be obligated to swear this oath, a person must admit part of what was claimed, not something else. Since the claim was for a measure of gold and not a coin, when the person admits that he owes a certain measure of silver rather than gold, he is not admitting to part of the claim and he is therefore not subject to the oath. Dinar zav yesh li biyadech. However, if he says, I have a gold dinar by you, a dinar is a coin, and a gold dinar is worth 25 silver dinars, en lecha biyadi el dinar kesef utrisit upundion upruta, and the person responds, you have only a silver dinar, or a trisit, or a pundion, or a pruta by me. These coins are all worth a fraction of a silver dinar. Chayav, he is obligated to swear that he does not have the full amount being claimed. Shakol min matbeh echad. This is because all coins, regardless of the metal they are made of, are considered one type of item, money, and his admission that he has a smaller coin in his possession is considered admitting part of the claim. Since all coins represent a certain amount of money, the claim is considered a claim for money, and the admission is considered an admission of money, regardless of the fact that the claim was for a gold coin, and the admission referred to a silver or copper coin. The Mishnah makes a similar point in regard to a claim about produce. Kol tivua yesh li biyadecha. If someone says to a person, a kor of grain of mine is by you, a kor is a large dry measure equal to 30 se'ah, and the person responds, you have only a letech, half a kor of beans by me, patur, he is not obligated to swear that he has no grain, because beans are not grain, and admitting that he owes beans is not considered admitting part of a claim for grain. Grain includes wheat, barley, oats, rye, and spelt, but not beans. Kol perot yesh li biyadecha. However, if he says, a kor of produce of mine is by you, and lecha biyadi el letech kitnit, and the person responds, you have only a letech, half a kor of beans by me, chayav, he is obligated to swear that he does not have more, shakitnit bichlal perot, because beans are included in the category of produce, and admitting that he owes beans is considered admitting part of a claim for produce. The Mishnah now cites a dispute whether it is indeed true that one must admit to owing some of the same kind of item being claimed in order to be obligated to swear the oath for partial admission. Te'ano chitin ve'odalo bisorim. If he claimed that the person owed him a certain amount of wheat, and the person admitted to him that he owed part of that amount of barley, patur, he is not obligated to swear that he does not owe any wheat, because wheat and barley are different kinds of grain, and admitting that he owes barley is not considered admitting part of a claim for wheat. Although wheat and barley are both grains, they are not the same type of grain. Therefore, when the claim is specifically for wheat, barley is not considered part of it. Now, not only is he exempt from swearing about the wheat, he is not even obligated to pay for the barley that he admits owing. By insisting that he lent him wheat, the claimant in effect admits that this person does not owe him barley. The Rabban Gamliel mechayev, but Rabban Gamliel obligates him to swear that he does not owe the wheat being claimed. In Rabban Gamliel's view, one does not have to admit owing the same kind of item being claimed in order to become subject to the oath. As long as he admits to owing something, he is obligated to make the oath for admitting part of a claim. Rabban Gamliel also disputes the earlier rulings of our Mishnah about gold and silver and grain and beans. In his view, no matter how those claims were framed, the person admitting that he owed something must swear about the item he denies. The Mishnah cites another dispute regarding the oath for admitting part of a claim. If someone claims to another person that he owes him jugs of oil, for example, he says to him, "You owe me 10 jugs of oil," and the other person denies that he owes any oil, but admits that he owes 10 empty jugs. Admon says, since he admitted to part of the claim, namely the jugs, he must swear that he does not owe the oil. According to Admon, when someone claims that he has owed 2 things and the other person admits owing one of them, he is considered to have admitted to part of a claim, and he is therefore subject to the oath. Admon treats a claim for 2 items as a single claim, so that admitting one of the items is the same as admitting part of the claim. The same is true in a case where a person claims wheat and barley, and the other person admits owing wheat but denies owing any barley. In this and any similar case, Admon holds that admitting to owing one of the items is considered admitting to part of the claim. But the sages say, En hahoda'a mimina ta'ana, the admission is not for the same kind of item as the claim, and he therefore is free from the oath. According to the sages, when someone claims he has owed 2 things, he is actually making 2 separate claims. Therefore, when the other person admits owing one of them, he is not admitting to part of a claim, he is admitting to one claim and denying another. According to the sages, the same is true for jugs of oil. Here too, the claim is considered to be for 2 separate items, jugs and oil. Since the admission was only for jugs, it was not for part of the claim of oil. And Atana agrees with Admon. Amar Rabban Gamliel. Rabban Gamliel said, I see the words of Admon as being correct. Rabban Gamliel himself maintains that the admission does not have to be for part of the claim, like we learned. What he means to say here is that even according to the opinion that the admission does have to be for part of the claim, this is considered part of the claim, since the claim was for both and he admitted to one of them. And the Rav tells us, V'alacha ki Admon, the halacha follows the opinion of Admon, אבל אין הלכה כרבן גמליאל דמחייב בטענו חיטין והודה לו בשורים. But halacha does not follow the opinion of Rabban Gamliel when he said that if he claimed somebody owes him wheat and the person admitted to barley, that he is obligated to swear that he does not owe the wheat being claimed. Whenever someone denies a claim for land, even only partially, he does not swear an oath because the Torah exempts people from swearing oaths about land. This will be discussed in Mishnah 5. The Mishnah discusses a series of cases in which someone claimed both movable property and land. The first case, Te'ano, Chalim, Ve'Karkaot, if he claimed from him both utensils and land, Ve'oda bekelim, Ve'chafar bekarkaot, and the other person admitted that he owed the utensils but denied owing the land, Bakarkaot v'chafar bekelim, or he admits that he owed the land but denied owing the utensils, patur, he is not obligated to swear about the property he denies, because whenever an admission or denial concerns land, there is no oath, even according to Admon and Rabban Gamliel, who say that claiming 2 things and admitting one of them is considered a partial admission. There is no oath in this case because the claim involved land. The second case, Hoda b'miksat al-karkaot, likewise, if he claimed utensils and land and the other person admitted that he owed part of the land and denied owing the rest of it, as well as the utensils, patur, he is not obligated to swear because the claim and admission are both about land. Even the sages who say that a claim for 2 items is treated as 2 separate claims would agree in this case that he admitted part of the claim for land. Nevertheless, he does not have to swear because both the party admits and the party denies are land. The third case, b'miksata kelim, however, if he claimed utensils and land and the other person admitted that he owed part of the utensils and denied owing the rest of the utensils or any of the land, chayav, he is obligated to swear both about the utensils and the land. He swears about the utensils because he admits owing some of them. The fact that he also denied owing land is unimportant because neither the claim nor denial of the land is needed to obligate an oath in this case. And he swears about the land. Because when it comes to oaths, movable properties, in this case the utensils, subject real properties, the land, to the requirement that a person swear about them. Now, what does it mean? Nechasim sheyesh lehan achayut. It literally means properties that have responsibility, and properties that do not have responsibility. Real estate is said to have responsibility because it is responsible for, meaning it guarantees a person's financial obligations. For example, if he does not repay money he has borrowed, the lender can collect the land even if the borrower sold it to someone else after the loan. But in any event, the Mishnah says the reason he could swear about the land is because the movable properties subject the real properties to the requirement that a person swear about them, although there is no oath about land by itself. Once a person is required to swear an oath about the utensils, he can be required to swear an oath about the land, even though it is not ordinarily subject to an oath. This is known as the rule of Gingun Shevuot, rolling an additional oath onto an oath taker. This rule states that once a person is required to swear an oath about one thing, he can be required to swear an oath about another thing as well, even something that is not usually subject to an oath. The Gemara in Kiddushin, page 27b and 27a, derives this rule from the law of the Sotah, the suspected adulteress, who can be forced to swear about situations that she would not otherwise have had to swear about. And that is in a Mishnah Gimel. Mishnah Daled discusses oaths involving people who are not mentally competent. En nishbain al tanat cheresh shotev v'katan. We do not swear any biblical oath in response to the claim of a deaf mute, meaning one who can neither hear nor talk. Such a person is legally considered to lack enough intelligence to be responsible for his actions and decisions. Since he cannot talk, the Mishnah must be referring to a case where he made his claim through some sort of signal. But in any event, we do not swear any biblical oath in response to the claim of a deaf mute, a person who is insane, or a minor, which is a boy under the age of 13 or a girl under the age of 12, because these people lack intelligence, and an oath is not required in response to the claim of a person who lacks intelligence. The Torah states in Shemot, chapter 22, verse 6, in regard to the oath of Shomrim, people responsible to watch the property of others, when a man gives money or utensils to his friend to watch, an oath shall be imposed upon him. The Gemara derives from this that oaths are imposed only if the person making the claim is a man, meaning an adult, not a child. This excludes not only minors, but anyone who is like a minor and that he lacks proper intelligence. By rabbinic law, however, a person swears a Shevuot Hesed oath in response to the claim of a minor. Then mashbi'in et hakatan, nor do we make a minor swear any oath, whether biblical or rabbinic, since he does not understand the seriousness of swearing falsely, as the Rambam writes in Ilchot Toen V'Nitan, chapter 5, Halakha 10. And it goes without saying that we do not make a deaf mute swear because he cannot speak, and we do not make an insane person swear because he does not know what he is doing. Aval nishba'im lekatan v'la'ekdesh. However, one swears to a minor before collecting from his possessions. When someone collects a debt from a minor, for example, from an orphan whose father died owing money, he cannot do so unless he swears first that the debt was not yet paid. This law was enacted to prevent people from taking advantage of minors, and one swears to the supervisor of the temple treasury before collecting from its possessions. When someone borrows money, his land becomes mortgaged to the debt. If a borrower consecrates his land to the temple treasury and then cannot pay the debt, the lender can collect the property from the temple treasury. Our Mishnah teaches that when he does so, he must first swear an oath to the temple treasurer that the debt was not yet paid. This is a rabbinic oath. Biblical oaths do not apply to temple treasury, as we will learn B'Sad Hashem B'li Neder in the next Mishnah. And that is in Abotai of today's Mishna Yomi. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen v'amen.